At the age of 15, I was told I was going blind. What I didn't know then was that losing my sight would teach me how to see differently and build a life I actually love. Welcome to Outsmarting Uncertainty. I'm Mark Valenziano. In these short episodes, you will find the tools and ideas and real talk to turn anxiety and self-doubt into calm confidence, steady progress, and personal success. Life will always bring unexpected obstacles. This is where you learn to outsmart them. So, let's get to it. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of life. Sometimes it's good, and it motivates us. And sometimes it's not so good, and it causes anxiety. When this happens, it is our sense of control that bothers us. It is our lack of control that causes this stress. Less control can mean more apprehension. But please know this. Practically nothing is entirely outside of your control. Do you ever find yourself worrying or thinking too much about things like the economy, or politics, or what other people think of you? You can think and worry about these uncertainties all day long. But thinking does not equal control. Worrying does not equal control. Your decisions and your actions are what you control. You cannot control broad economic conditions, but you can control how you adapt and prepare according to your own needs. You cannot control the outcome of elections or legislation, but you can control your level of civil participation. And when it comes to what other people think, you cannot control their perceptions or their opinions or their judgments, but you can control your actions and your core values and how much weight you give those opinions. Your power does not come from widening your focus and thinking and worrying more. In fact, the more you think and worry and try to manage everything, the less in control you feel. No, your real power comes from narrowing your attention, narrowing it down to the decisions and actions and tasks that are in your control. Acting on these items is the fastest way to calm your mind from anxiety. When you shift your attention to what is fully yours, anxiety diminishes, while clarity and stability and confidence grow. Here's a simple exercise to help you make the shift. I do this, and it really does help me remain calm and steady amid challenges and uncertainties, large and small. First, start by identifying something worrisome that's been on your mind. Maybe it's job-related, job security, or a relationship, or a health issue, or whatever. Then think through that issue and break it down into its parts and ask yourself this question: do I have control over this? So in those examples, for job stability, the different parts might be company decisions, layoffs, leadership changes, all things over which you do not have control. But what you do control are things like your performance, your work ethic, and your skill development. For relationships, the different parts might be other people's feelings or reactions or choices, all things over which you do not have control. But what you do control are things like your communication, your honesty, and your effort. And for a health issue, the different parts might be things like genetics, aging, or unexpected illness, all things that you do not control. But what is within your control are things like your nutrition, exercise, and self-care. Then, when you're done separating and sorting like this, it is now time to exercise your power. Your power to narrow your focus and act on those things that you have control over. Even small actions can start the shift. Send the email, make the phone call, prepare for the conversation, schedule some time for yourself, or whatever. When you consistently focus on the tasks that you control, you start replacing anxiety with steadiness and stability. You start trusting that you can act deliberately, even in uncertain situations. And with that self-trust comes confidence. Confidence does not come from certainty. Confidence comes from self-trust. And uncertainty doesn't shrink because you think about it and worry about it. Uncertainty shrinks because you narrow your focus to what you can control. And even in the biggest of uncertain situations, something is always within your control. And when you shift your attention to that part, you reduce anxiety, you regain agency, and you create forward movement. And that shift can start to change everything. Uncertainty isn't going away, but how you meet it changes everything. Take one idea from today and put it to work in your own life. That's how progress gets built from the inside out. If this episode moved you, please share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to Outsmarting Uncertainty wherever you listen, and I'll see you back here in the next one. I'm Mark Valenziano.